Today's topic is Adderall. Now I've got so much content that I want to publish, and I'm running out of time to publish it because I'm waiting for a good background, or I'm waiting to interview another professional on the topic. So I'm just going to start, when I come up with the ideas, I'm just going to start firing off videos like this, whether I'm on the treadmill or between sets at the gym, get you more information faster. But then I'll use your comments, when you write comments below for follow-up questions, I'll use those for the more in-depth follow-up videos if you have specific questions about what I cover. So today's going to be a very general overview of my experience with Adderall and everything I know about Adderall and how I got started with Adderall. I started law school when I was 20 years old, and I did a 4-year program, so I finished when I was about 24, almost 25. And I had never experienced Adderall until my last year of law school when I started studying for the bar. Now, the reason I got into Adderall was because one of my friends was taking Adderall all the time, and he was taking about 50, 60, 70 milligrams a day, which for anybody who knows dosages of Adderall is extremely high. In fact, he was taking so much Adderall that one of the side effects of methamphetamine or amphetamines that you can tell when people take a lot of it is they get these like little bubbles, not acne, but kind of like little tiny welts under the skin in the temple area. And he actually had that, but he had no other side effects from it. And so I wasn't really that afraid to take 5 milligrams, because here's a guy taking 70 milligrams a day. Now the body does desensitize to it, so he would give himself like a 1-month break twice a year to resensitize, and then he would jump back into a lower dosage, like 20 milligrams a day for a couple weeks, 30, on step it all the way up to almost 70 milligrams a day, or some really high dosage. So I tried just 5 milligrams in my last year of law school, and I noticed it immediately. It was a huge difference in my reading speed and my reading comprehension, my focus. Most of all, though, it made the work fun. I actually looked forward to taking the Adderall and then reading law. Now, my first 3 years of law school got through without hardly reading anything, because I'm an extremely good test taker. You could put a test in front of me and I could barely have looked into the topic and I could blow it away, just because I can kind of deconstruct what's going on with the question and kind of figure it out kind of like a puzzle on the fly. And I'm really good at cramming, so the night before the exam I can study for 12 hours straight and remember everything I studied and take the exam. So I'm lucky to be blessed with like a brilliant mind to be able to do that. I was able to do that through college and high school and everything. I never took homework home in college or high school. I would do it in class, and then I would ace the exam. Had almost a 4.0 in high school, had a really good grades in college by using these techniques. But law school is a little bit harder, right? There's a lot more you have to cram in a short period of time if you're going to use the cram technique. So the final year of law school, I used Adderall, and I went from my law school ranking went up to 3rd in the class, in the entire class in law school. 3rd, that's on Adderall. Off Adderall, I was not very high up in the class. I was just trying to get through the exams. And then I passed the bar exam on the first time on Adderall also, and it was fun. I liked learning and I liked reading. My reading speed on Adderall about doubles, and my comprehension about doubles. So I do feel superhuman, super smart. I have tried the extended release and the one that only lasts like 5 hours. That's the normal one. And I much prefer not using the extended release. I almost don't feel anything on the extended release. It's so mild, I might as well just drink a cup of coffee. So the non-extended release one, for me, lasts about 5 hours, and then I crash afterwards, same as like a caffeine crash. Now when I was on Adderall the last year of law school and through the bar exam, I lost about 20 pounds of fat and muscle. The reason why is Adderall acts like a appetite suppressant. So I could study for 5 hours straight and not get hungry, and of course I would take one Adderall in the morning, one in the afternoon, so I could study for 10 hours for the bar exam, and I wouldn't eat, or I'd eat very little. But it also made me kind of weak, kind of like overdosing on caffeine overstimulates the central nervous system and kind of makes you weaker, but a little caffeine makes you stronger. I felt that same effect. Now when I came off of Adderall, I didn't really crash. So let's say I was on Adderall for a few months straight, and then I came off. Maybe I had a couple days where I felt a little foggy, but it wasn't too bad. Mainly the crash I would feel was more immediately afterwards. So if I took it 5 or 10 milligrams, then about 5 or 6 hours later, that's when I would kind of crash for a couple hours, which is the perfect time to take a nap and then wake up and take another Adderall. I would not recommend Adderall for anything to do with weightlifting though. I've had a lot of people talk to me about using Adderall as like a pre-workout, thinking that would be cool. And I think what Adderall does is it makes your mind very focused on one thing, to the point where you're almost OCD. And I don't think that is what you want to be at with weightlifting and with exercise. And it also makes you feel a little bit weaker. So I think it's a terrible pre-workout. I think things like caffeine, actually ephedrine is much more effective than caffeine for physical performance. So that's my brief overview of my experience with Adderall. I will talk much more about many different supplements, and I'm just going to hit you really fast with them, and then I'll follow up with more detailed and scientific data and more interviews of professionals and doctors on the topics later.